What's being taught today in yoga studios shares only a name with the classical tradition, almost nothing else. Yoga means union, not flexibility, not stress relief, not a morning routine. It is the union of individual awareness with a universal awareness. That is the whole project. I've gone to many yoga studios and practiced with many teachers in my life. And I found myself moving through this inner journey, this struggle of understanding the yoga that I am being taught versus the yoga that I knew to be real from my interest in the scriptures from the age of 15. And this is also due to Indian teachers really giving the West what they wanted. It's all coming from a place of yoga for health. In this modern day, we live such unhealthy lives, sitting in front of computer screens all day, sitting on the couch, sitting in the office chair. We are doing so much, aren't we? There's so much mental activity and physical activity, almost nothing. Our ancestors would work for hours in physical labor. But we have the good fortune of being able to sit in luxury, having our meals delivered to us sometimes. What a privilege, nothing to be ashamed of. However, what that means is that our body begins to stagnate. And so yoga is, in that way, perfect because it has one tiny component called asana. Out of 8 limbs, we have this asana. And there's an old story that Adi Yogi, that is the first yogi, Shiva or Mahadeva himself, proclaimed that there are 84,000 asanas. So look at us, we took that very literally and we thought, oh, we must have 84,000 different poses. So when Patanjali was putting all of this together and teaching, he spoke of 2 limbs before asana and 5 limbs after. Yoga doesn't mean a posture. It means the recognition of who you are and your place in the world. And to recognize there is an implied sacrifice. The yajna is the sacrifice that you make every single day. What do you sacrifice? The perception that there is something to seek in the world, there is something that is disgusting about the world. So we seek, we feel disgusted because we are in this state of confusion. So we sacrifice what we seek, we let go of what we are averse to, and we be with this confusion, which itself is the ultimate sacrifice. And then you can let go of that too. The first 2 limbs are yama and niyama. Your relationship to the world and your relationship to yourself. If you don't practice these 2 limbs, then you're doing yourself a disservice. To be non-violent means that the people around you, the beings around you feel safe. You can be non-violent if you feel safe within yourself, if you feel secure and okay. The second is truthfulness. How can you be truthful about who you are or express your identity if you don't know who you are? You're seeking truth out there from others. You want others to tell you who you are. But most people will not guide you back to yourself. They'll guide you in a direction which is their experience. So, to speak the truth, you got to be the truth. To be the truth, you have to recognize it right now. There are kriyas that one practices to develop an understanding of what purity is. Each practice that yoga has offered us function so that we can practice them, recognize a more subtle level of purity, and in the process of doing that, we let go of the body. Just by doing this, you let go of any sort of achieving or perfection in your asana practice. You're using asana as a kriya, a method to purify your body, to detoxify your body. When Shiva said 84,000 asanas, he wasn't talking about 84,000 contortions. He was saying that there are 84,000 places in this world that you can sit, that you can stand, that you can be with me just by recognizing who you are. These 84,000 asanas, asana means seat or standing place or sitting place. And every single place where you are right now is an asana. One of the 84,000. And it is the only asana you need to be in. Even if you decide to do some fancy pose, the asana is not in doing the pose. It is in the space in which your mind is sitting, is resting. So we have external asanas, you have internal asanas, which are your chakras. Each chakra is a seat where you, as a particularly evolved version of yourself, a tantric dimension of yourself can sit. These are the subtle seats. And then there's the ultimate seat. Padmasana need not be legs crossed over each other in a perfect hip-destroying or knee-destroying pose for hours. Padmasana is sitting in the lotus of pristine awareness. That is the nature of your consciousness. So what comes after the pose? The recognition of the nature of breath, the recognition of the function of the senses, where they withdraw inward, the absorption, the holding of the object that cannot be conceptualized within, absorption into that. That results in two kinds of samadhi, a samadhi with qualities and a samadhi which is absolutely non-conceptual, a purely equanimous mind. This is the eightfold path of yoga. It is the eightfold path of union. I get very tempted these days to say that I'm not teaching yoga because yoga has become such an overused, misunderstood word. I like to say I'm teaching union. The classical tradition doesn't promise you a better body, it promises you a different relationship to the one that you already have. Eventually, it promises a different relationship to the possessor, the one who has this body. What got extracted into this modern era is great for health, but it missed out the root seed of the practice that can transform your entire life. I teach the full system, not because the physical practice isn't valuable, but it's like building a beautiful temple, but not placing the God inside it.